have an East End. They gradually expanded. They bought small shops, small stores, post offices. They went into British society, and they became more British than a lot of us. Wonderful people, and the racism, from what I can see, yes, there were sections of the public which were racist, but they were absorbed into the community. Then we had the Bengali population. They were in the East End, and the Pakistani population. They also came through the East End. They have gone into society. They're building up their communities. They are solid communities. Now, if there's this great racism that is being said within the system, these big cultures, which go right into the government with Rishi Sunak, would not be allowed. It would not be a problem. You don't hear the Hindi population saying about these great racist problems. You don't hear the Muslim population. Also, there's this tremendous racism of actually into society. You do hear from, if I can be blank, this you hear about the history, slavery. Yes, there was an extreme problem with slavery. Yes, Britain should pay for that part. But this report, which you're referring to, talking about this, and the rest seem to have got through. With regards to the comparison...
Andrew, can I just say...
1 second.
Okay, all right, go on. No, I'll let you speak.
With regards to the Ukraine and comparing it with Syria, big difference. The Ukrainians do not want to stay here. They want to go back. They want to carry on their own lives in the Ukraine. Whereas with regards to the Syrians and the Afghans, they don't necessarily immediately want to go back. They're not talking about going back, and they want to come into the country.
Andrew, can I just...
In a quarter of a mile of Wagoners Roundabout, take the second exit onto the Parkway A312.
First of all, I'm from a history of immigrants. I'm Jewish. We came over the turn of the century, and I'm 50.
50. It's just that, Andrew, you've used this term coloured, which is generally not a term that we use anymore. It's seen as a derogatory term, and I just ask you gently, and people of a certain generation do use the term. Perhaps
exit the roundabout onto the Parkway.
So I'm not...
Continue on the Parkway for 1 mile.
...is to cause unnecessary upset to some people listening.
Yeah, I know what you meant to offend.
Fine. No, that's fine. That's fine, Andrew. But I see some of the messages that come in, and people raise these things, and I understand that there is a generation of people. I grew up and people were using that term. It's not a term that people use now. But I guess, Andrew, the point is, I was sort of thinking as you were saying this, the minority population of the United Kingdom is about 14% of the population. I guess if you believe the leaked report by the historian, what he's saying is that those minorities, it might be a significantly higher number than 14%, had the country not put in place some of the restrictions that it put in place in relation to those immigrants who were black or brown coming from parts of the Commonwealth that were considered less desirable. And the historian goes through the history and looks at these various bits of legislation, Labour, by the way, and Conservative, but also some of what was said in Cabinet about having immigration from people from those backgrounds. So yes, you say, look, some have come, and I haven't heard much of a hue and cry.
In a quarter of a mile at Cranford Parkway interchange, take the second exit onto the M4 slip road to Heathrow Airport M25.
I would say that these are all possibilities, but they're not necessarily fact. Britain has always been anti-immigration, and I speak with regards to the Jewish people and my experience with this. They did not want to allow the Jewish people in at the beginning, with regards to obviously the Holocaust and everything else.
Yes, that's true.
And they didn't like those people. They didn't like the Ukrainians. They didn't like anyone. This is just how the British are, and it's something that has never changed for many, many years. But there's always ifs, ands, and buts on any argument that you want to put forward. But I think that with regards to the areas of the community that you are saying, of course, anything could be.
Andrew, I've got to go to the break. In this hour, I'm asking, is our immigration system racist? If so, what needs to change to make it fairer, safer, more equal? Call me on 0345 6060 973. I'll put you straight on. But the time now is 6:32, and it's time for the news with Simon Morgan.
The Prince of Wales and Duke of Cambridge will pay public tributes to the Queen during a star-studded Jubilee concert later. Both future kings will speak separately in honour of the monarch at the open-air show in front of Buckingham Palace this evening. Police had to remove a group of people who...
Exit the roundabout onto the slip road.
An animal rights campaign group claimed...
In a quarter of a mile, merge onto M4.
And more than 100 trains were delayed earlier as police tried to get a trespasser off the railway line connecting London and Edinburgh. Police used a helicopter and dog teams to search for the person in the Potters Bar area of Hertfordshire. LBC weather: thunderstorms returning to parts of Wales, southeastern and central areas of England for this evening. Elsewhere it should stay dry, an overnight low of 6. Tomorrow mostly dry with sunny spells for Scotland and Northern Ireland. Heavy rain in parts of southern England, which will move towards central areas of England during the day, and a high of 20.
This is LBC. Hi everyone, Jamie Oliver here. We all know it can be healthier to eat your veg. That's why I've created a delicious veggie curry in partnership with Tesco and WWF. Discover my veg pack recipe on Tesco Real Food, filled with spring greens, chickpeas and sweet potato. Tesco, every little helps.
The veggie curry recipe is a source of protein which contributes to the maintenance of muscle mass as part of a varied and balanced diet and healthy lifestyles. To find out more on the WWF partnership, see tesco.com/better-baskets for details.
If you've lost £3,000 or more in a scam or fraud, then tell CEL. CELsolicitors.co.uk specialise in confidential, no-win, no-fee fraud and scam recovery. Whether you were pressured by someone posing as a bank, HMRC or even the police, if you have been scammed, don't let them get away with it. Let us help you try to get your money back. We listen, we care, we win.
The Furniture Village sale ends this Sunday, and right now there are final reductions on a huge range of sofas, beds and dining. So for beautiful furniture with up to 30% off, there's only one place to go this bank holiday weekend. But hurry, the Furniture Village sale ends Sunday.
Grow happiness this bank holiday weekend with 20% off outdoor plants at B&Q. From fragrant lavender to freshly picked herbs. Shop 20% off outdoor plants in store at B&Q. Hurry, ends Monday. You can do it. Excludes Boards and Turf, ends 6th of June. Subject to availability. See in-store or DIY.com.
This is flute beatboxing. Amazing. You can do something just as amazing by giving blood. We need donors in London. It's quick and easy, and extra safety measures are in place. Join us at blood.co.uk to make an appointment at Westfield, Shepherd's Bush and Stratford or the West End Donor Centre. Your donation could help save the lives of up to 3 people. This is amazing.
Leading Britain's conversation, LBC, with David Lammy.
I'm discussing whether the immigration system is racist following a leaked report by a historian to the Home Office which says that it was, and an article by Diane Abbott in The Guardian saying categorically that the system is racist, but taking your views on whether it is, what your experience of it is, how you feel about this country, and how you make the system fairer, safer, or more equal. Richard in Weybridge. Richard.
Hi, David. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for calling in, Richard.
That's fine.
In a quarter of a mile, keep right to stay on M4.
My personal story. So, I am an immigrant.
Richard?
Well, I'm a New Zealander.
Oh, you're New Zealand. Okay.
Keep right to stay on M4.
But I did find that the just coming through immigration was always pretty tough. So I used to work abroad, and so even though I didn't have a UK passport, I'd be interrogated every time. So I don't think that was one of the race. I just wanted, why are you here? And it got to a point I was flying back and forth from Sydney Airport. Young immigration officers would stop you, and they would ask you why you're actually coming into the UK, which I found pretty difficult, given that I had a wife and child here.
Were you coming in? What sort of passport were you coming in on? Were you coming in
On my New Zealand,
I see.
on a New Zealand passport.
So you're saying that your experience coming in, if you like, as a white member of the Commonwealth, was pretty hostile.
I did find it hostile. It's interesting you think I'm white, but ironically I am. But I could equally be, Maori or...
You could have been, absolutely. And let me say, I've been in New Zealand this week. A wonderful country it is, and it's a diverse country of people who are Maori, people who are from the Pacific Islands, and of course people who historically were European, many of whom had English heritage. It's a very diverse country, and it's a country that very much celebrates that diversity and that multiculturalism, notwithstanding the issues. In your experience, Richard, would you say that Britain does the same thing, if you like?
I would completely agree. It was interesting your last call, actually. I would say Britain's no different. I don't think Britain's racist, but immigration is a problem everywhere because of what you have and what you're dealing with, the socioeconomic problems that you already have, and if you're bringing in cultural differences, absolutely, obviously there'll be tension. People are different. But I don't think the UK necessarily is any different. New Zealand suffered the same thing. New Zealand...
In a quarter of a mile, keep right to stay on M4.
Extremely anti-immigration. New Zealand probably less so, but it's still very...
You might also say that the situation of Aboriginal people in Australia suggests that they've got some profound issues also with racism.
Well, they do. I mean, I'd say up until the 1950s when they were actually shooting Aborigines. So, I mean, you could say, I think...
Keep right to stay on M4.
Australia's probably on the extreme level, but certainly New Zealand, it's a challenge. I think it's a challenge, but also what I see here is I think, particularly living in or around London, when I lived in London for 20 years, I think the acceptance of people from outside is far more prevalent than anywhere else I've lived. And I've lived in many places. I lived in Zurich, lived in Amsterdam for a few years, with my wife and I lived in Amsterdam, English, living here, and I think the acceptance level of the tolerance of the UK is very, very high.
Thank you so much for calling in and bringing that view. There'll be some listening who take a different view to you. I want to hear from you. Call me on 0345 6060 973. Geraldine in Shepton Mallet. Geraldine.
God, how did you know it's in Shepton Mallet? Anyway, but for my sins, we're sunset, we've got plenty of grease smoke up the road. However, what it is, it's a personal story. I married an Australian in 1969. He'd come over on a British passport, and when that ran out, and it must have been 71, 72, when he renewed it, he was given an Australian passport, and then he became, they said we'd been hiding from the police. We had to get in touch with the United Kingdom Immigrant Advisory Service, I think it was, then up the Tottenham Court Road. And it was hiding from the police. He worked at the BBC for 10 years, and every year he said he had to go to the Home Office, downlock corridors, doors and corridors and all the rest of it, so they could see he had a passport or whatever. So it did transpire, anyway. And then they said they were going to deport him. And I phoned the Home Office. We only had call boxes then. And I said, what do you mean? You're going to deport him? What am I going to do with the mortgage? And she said they could deport me as well. Because I was married an Aussie, Commonwealth citizen, I'd sort of lost my nationality. I think it was to do with they reversed the law. If you came to England and you married an English woman, you had the right to stay. I think it was something like that. And then the True Blues, I think in the early 70s, obviously they reversed that. And then when we did get a 2-year extension right to stay. During that time we did go abroad, and when we flew back...
In 2 miles, at junction 6, take the A355 exit to Slough Central.
I don't know if it's xenophobia, and also I went for a job at the local council up in Sutton, the ratings department, and I had to put the nationality of my spouse on the application form. So
I mean, Geraldine, this is a similar story to the one we had before, which is basically that laws were coming in. Your experience and the experience previous is that they were frankly being tough on people who were from the Commonwealth, full stop. Not necessarily. It wasn't really race. Everyone was subject to the noose, it sounds like.
Caught up in the law that was racial, wasn't it? We got caught up in that law.
Yes, well, the leaked document does go through this. Now, some of the background to this is things are being said in Cabinet about people from different races. But the question is, yes, I suppose that's a good way of putting it. Was it xenophobia full stop in terms of immigration? Or was it racism, which is obviously generally speaking about people of a different colour?
Yes. No, it wasn't that, but we got caught up in this thing that he's married an English woman, and therefore and because he'd been issued with a non-British passport, he had no right to stay. That's not racism, but it's something.
I wonder, what's interesting is I wonder, had you been a young woman, had he been a young woman and you've been a man marrying, and would the law have been slightly different? No idea, but it just occurs to me.
I don't know. Yes, it could have been all sorts of things in that.
In a 1/4 mile, at junction 6, take the A355 exit to Slough Central.
We had a couple of Hungarian carers.
Yes.
He was a paramedic in Hungary, she was a nurse in Hungary. We lived near here, Peace Johnson Joe. They come over to learn the language, and he told me that his wife went to the doctor's up.
Exit at junction 6.
Because she wasn't feeling too well, and the GP told her to go back where she came from and get one. Now this is beyond something.
In a 1/4 mile, at the roundabout, take the 3rd exit onto Tuns Lane, A355.
After we had the decision to leave the European Union and Brexit. Geraldine, thank you for calling in, taking all your calls. There'll be people who are listening who are black or brown, who do think it was about racism, not xenophobia. I'm very happy to speak to you after the break. You're listening to David Lammy, and the time now on LBC, not on LBC, I'm on LBC. The time now, wherever you are, is 6:44.
Coming up at 7 on LBC, Natasha Devon.
So much outrage around Partygate, but no one seems to be commenting on the extent of the reported drunkenness unless to defend it. Does Britain have a drink problem?
Natasha Devon on LBC.
Exit the roundabout onto Tuns Lane.
Drive is going better than expected. Not just because he's going away for the weekend, but because he's virtually there. He can almost taste that first ice cream on the beach. Why? Because he beat the rush by visiting Esso midweek to fill up and check his tyre pressure. Not on the morning of the trip.
In a 1/4 mile, slight left towards Sippenham Lane.
Sprinkles for you. You're our kind of driver. Esso. A planned journey is a smoother journey. See esso.co.uk for details.
The Furniture Village sale ends this Sunday, and right now there are final reductions on a huge range of sofas, beds and dining. So for beautiful furniture with up to 30% off, there's only one place to go this bank holiday weekend. Hurry, the Furniture Village sale ends Sunday.
Slight left towards Sippenham Lane.
Did you pack this bag yourself, madam?
Yeah,
What's this then?
my post office travel money card.
Right. And this?
Oh, that's my post office.
Continue for 1.5 miles.
Anything else to declare?
Yeah, they even sorted my passport for me.
Really?
Wherever you're headed, always pack the post office. Search post office travel or visit your local branch. Card
Exchange Services Limited, pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated, T's and C's apply.
When it feels like money's tight, it's good to know that at Tesco, we price match hundreds of products to Aldi every week. From bread to butter. So you can be sure you'll find the products that matter most to you. Because right now, every little helps. Prices match pro rata and checked on hundreds of comparable products from GBLD stores and or online twice weekly. Price most often found matched excluding promotions. Products match varied by week and availability varies by store excluding Express and Northern Ireland. Details tesco.com/Aldi price match.
Why should you consider dental implants? Here's Susan Tanner from the Darwood and Tanner Dental Practice.
The secret to good-looking teeth on dental implants is in the science and our expertise acquired over many years. Our technology improves the ability to diagnose and provide solutions for even the most complex problems. The result looks and feels amazing.
See the success stories from happy patients and book your consultation today. Visit darwoodandtanner.co.uk.
I'm security. Say hello to my little friend.
What's up? Ease here.
Together we're eFax. I provide an encrypted service, so you can send faxes safely, almost like it's in bubble wrap, electronic bubble wrap.
Whilst I'm all about trimming your costs down, so it's no more machines, no more maintenance, and no more, but more faxing, like this. The ultimate combo. eFax. It's secure, easy. Head to efax.co.uk/corporate. At Lidl, we're big on a summer of quality for all. So this Jubilee weekend, enjoy majestic British strawberries for just $1.89, 6 all butter scones for 99p, and deluxe teas for just 89p. So one can have a truly platinum Jubilee. Now that's big on quality and always Lidl on price. Subject to availability, selected stores, excludes NI.
This is LBC with David Lammy. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850.
Patricia in Staines.
Hi, David. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for calling in, Patricia.
Let me tell you my experience. So I'm born and raised in Uruguay, South America, but I'm half Spanish as well. So in 2016, I got a job offer, and because I have my Spanish citizenship, it was very easy to come to the UK. It's been great living here for the past 5.5 years. It was pretty easy for us to get our pre-settlement after Brexit, submitted online all the documents which were basically council tax contributions, and it was free, so very straightforward. In a few weeks, we had our pre-settlement. Last October, we were able to apply for our settlement status, which was pretty much the same thing. Free of charge.
Priti Patel's listening. She'll be very pleased about this story.
Yeah. Actually, last October, when we applied for our settlement status, it took us literally 2 weeks to get a reply back, free of charge, as well, an updated council tax contribution document. That was it. So for us, living here in England, it's been the land of opportunities. We have had so many wonderful experiences and blessings. And actually,
in a quarter of a mile, turn left onto Deal Avenue.
Union Jack side of flying outside.